low energy, if you don't feel pulled by your why, could cause low energy. Let's see. Lack of motivation could be confused with lack of energy. That could also be if your motivation is not, or if your why is not pulling you, that's not going to motivate you. And it could also be depression. And I know few people that are strangers to depression. So we're going to talk about these today.
Welcome to Unleashing Your Greatest Potential with co-hosts Tina Guimar and Deborah Rogers. Many people go along every day and they are not really passionate about what they do. They spend a lot of time working and very little time with their family, friends, and doing things that they love to do. Our intention for this show is to help you unleash your greatest potential and create extraordinary results in your personal, professional, and spiritual life. This will allow you to start focusing on the things that you love and to live a more purposeful life. Enjoy the show.
If your why isn't big enough,
Yes.
it's not going to motivate you. It's not going to pull you in the direction that you're supposed to be going.
Yeah.
We all have a dream planted in us from the time we're born. Mm-hmm. And if we're going in the opposite direction of our dream, things don't work out. We think it's us. And a lot of times we can get stuck and we feel like, well, if this doesn't work, then I don't know what to do. Well, sometimes those things not working out are trying to redirect you in the direction of the dream that was planted within you that you're supposed to be living. So before we find that dream, a lot of times we lose motivation, we have lack of energy because we've lost our direction, because we've lost our way, and lack of motivation and lack of energy will lead to depression.
Yeah.
So something you want to do something to get out of depression. For one thing, do something for yourself. Even if it's just going to the show, going to a walk-in and watching a movie you want to watch. Do it by yourself if you have to. I've done it. Just go by yourself, enjoy your movie. You don't have to listen to anybody else. And the earlier in the day you can go, the better off you are, because there's less people in there that you have to deal with.
Yeah.
So, not that you don't want to deal with people, but you don't want to have to deal with phones ringing, babies crying, or people talking on their phones.
You want me time.
Exactly.
Not me time, but you want time.
Take yourself to lunch, have a date with yourself, take a pad and paper with you, and figure out what it is you want, what this dream is inside you that you've had from day one and you haven't fulfilled it.
Yeah. So that is a lot of people might also find that they have lost themselves. Like I was on this great journey, right? I was on this path and climbing the corporate ladder and I was wearing myself out, but that was my goal at the time. So I got to the point where I became drained. I lost my motivation, right? I ended up getting to the point when everything came crashing down in my personal and professional life, at just me not enjoying my journey anymore. I realized that I felt lost. I felt broken. I didn't know who I said, I wouldn't even look at myself in the mirror, never mind, I would just be really thinking to myself, why am I on? Like, why am I here? What am I supposed to be doing? Like, this is the life I created for my family and myself, but it wasn't a life that we all loved. Not, I don't believe any one of us in this house loved the life that we had created, because I was just a workaholic, and I just always was, work was always first, and I never even put myself first. So until 2014 is when I really started saying, okay, I need to put myself first. And, I started on this health journey, and I lost, I don't know, over 40 pounds because I tried, I put myself first, and I was walking all the time, and I was eating the right things, and I was really getting to the point where health-wise I felt good. And then when everything came crashing down and I stopped even doing that anymore because I had fallen into the depression, little did I know that I was in a depression. It turned to anger. It ended up turning to anger, and I was just angry all the time. All I wanted to do was yell at people, and, all I did was complain. And if you haven't read my story in the book, you should do that, because I talk about that. Like, I ruined a lot of relationships because all I did was complain. Every post on Facebook was a complaint. And when you live that way, you attract that to you. And you have to make a conscious effort. And what really got me out of that was I went and I learned CBT, cognitive behavior therapy. Debbie's certified in that. So if you want to learn about this topic, reach out to her. It really was a life changer for me, because a lot of the stuff that I learned I think I was in the program for 8 days. And I learned a lot of techniques. I learned a lot of things that can help you to get out of that depression, to stop having that anxiety. And that right there was a game changer for me. I never knew about meditation or mindfulness until then. I was in my early 40s, and I didn't even know what meditation was, or mindfulness. It's like,
Right.
it was an eye-opener for me, and that's what got me through that time, between that and gratitude. Because like I said, if you're just constantly negative and complaining, that's what you're attracting to you. So that's what you're going to get even more. If you ever got in the car and said, I'm going to be late, I'm going to be late, I'm going to be late, and then you're late, well, that's the law of attraction. So you have to change that. Change the way you think about those things. Be grateful and be aware that what you're putting out there is what you're going to get back tenfold.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Grab a journal, and even if it's just binder paper, just start writing down what it is that you're grateful for in your life now. Doesn't matter if you have a lot or not. Just write down 10 things in the morning that you're grateful for. You're grateful for your loved ones. You're grateful for the roof over your head. You're grateful for the food that you eat. Just keep track of what it is. And after 30 days of doing that, you can look back on it and you can see, write different things every day. Don't write the same things over and over and over. Write different things. It's going to help you to pull you forward and to pull you out of this depression or low energy or motivation. It's going to help you. It's going to give you that pull. We sit there in depression and we think, well, if I had something to push me out of this, I'd be better off. No, you'd be better off if something pulls you out of it than pushes you, because pulling you out of it is a much easier, more loving thing to happen to you than to be pushed or shoved.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And let me just say one thing, because I experienced it, so I know, and I want to tell you so you don't have to be like, well, this is crazy. When you start really writing down that gratitude, it's going to be difficult. You're not going to be able to think of anything, because I did that. I could not, like, what am I grateful for? Like, I have no idea. Just know that it could be something even as simple of as, I'm grateful for this pen. I'm grateful for this, that I can write something down. Like, it can be really, it's going to be really simple and basic in the beginning. And as you continue to practice that, it's going to get even better as you go along. And that is one of the things that really helped. I know back then I was doing that 28-day gratitude challenge. It's based on the book from Rhonda Byrne. I think it's called The Magic. And the very first thing you have to do, I'm going to tell this story because I love this story.
Okay.
The very first thing you have to do is find a rock, and you hold that rock at the end of the day, and you say what you were grateful for that happened that day. And I had found a rock outside, and, you know, I was doing that. And then one morning I was like, you know what? It would be cool if I could find a heart-shaped rock. And I go out to get the mail, and look what was laying on the ground in front of me.
Yeah.
And it's right here on my computer.
Yeah. I love that.
If you do that 28-day gratitude challenge, you're going to see your life transform in front of your eyes. It's truly amazing. And that is what really helped me to get out of that negative mode. And it helped me to be more positive, and then more positive things started coming, because I was at the point where, all right, well, what else can happen now? You know, and when you think like that, then more things keep happening. Trust me, I know. Don't do that.
No, don't. Never ask what's the worst thing that could happen, because it will. You want to look on the bright side of whatever happens and say, well, I'm glad that's all it was, instead of, oh, could be worse. Yeah. You're thinking negative. You're pulling more negative things to you. So it could be better.
Yeah. And that's one huge one, is the gratitude. And another one, another thing that you want to focus on is really figuring out what is your purpose. Because if you're at the point where you lost your purpose in life and you don't know, like, what am I doing here? Like, why am I on this journey? Then you really need to identify what that is for you. And that also comes along with passion. So if you need help with that, we have a couple of documents we can send to you. And it's just specifically questions that are going to help you to figure that out for yourself. Because these are the questions Debbie and I used when we were redefining our purpose and passion and our big why and our vision and all of that. So very, very helpful. If you feel like you don't know what your purpose is, you got to get those questions. Because that not having a purpose in life is going to if you're already having depression, it's going to make it even worse. If you don't have it yet, you're going to end up getting down that path, and that's not a good thing.
Absolutely.
It's not good for you. It's not good for anybody.
Not a good thing. It's never a good thing. Once a person gets depressed, it's hard to get out of it. So if you can stop yourself before you get to if you're still in the lack of energy, lack of motivation, feeling like you're lost, it's easier to pull yourself out of it than it is when you get to the point of depression. Depression, you need medication. Normally, not always, but sometimes you need medication to get past it. And let's face it, when they get you on medication, it's not to cure you, it's to lead you, or to treat not the cause, but the symptoms. So
yeah,
just be careful with that. Please be careful with that.
Yeah, if you want something that will help with that aspect, reach out to Dorothy. Dorothy can help you when it comes to like anxiety and depression issues. She has something that will help you aside from taking medication. And I uh, also advise not to go down the medication route, because I did when I first went and got help. That's the first thing they did, was put me on medication, and I want to get off of it, and I will get off of it. I just can't stop, because if I don't take it for like 2 days, I start having like really weird things happening, like with my ears, and I start getting dizzy and stuff like that. So I eventually have to get off that, but I need to come up with a plan to do that. So medication is not a good way. I mean, it can help you to get through until you, the thing with me is they put me on the medication, but they also gave me the tools to get out of it. But now I'm stuck on the medication. So I have to get a plan now to get off of that, now that I have those tools and techniques in place.
Right, right. Yeah, it's not good to be addicted to a medicine that you can't get off of. I think we all agree on that.
It's crazy.
Yeah, not a good thing.
Yeah, so that's what we have for you today.